This is a second video in a series of learning the African countries with memory techniques. In the previous video, if you haven't already seen that, we went through Morocco, Western Sahara, Mauritania, Senegal, the Gambia, Cape Verde, Guinea-Bissau, Guinea, Sierra Leone and Liberia. Now we continue and we're using the same technique. As mentioned in the previous video, there are some countries that you remember just because of the shape. For example, Italy, it looks like a butt, right? So now let's continue with 10 more countries in Africa. Let's get started. So let's start directly with the first country. It looks sort of like a nose of the elephant, a trunk, and then you have the ear, and then it comes out sort of the teeth, the tusk, which is made of ivory. And that helps us to remember this country, Ivory Coast, or in French, Côte d'Ivoire. So that's that country. Then we continue to the next one, and this one is a bit difficult. It had a sort of two bumps. It could be a person in front of a door. For me, I see it a bit like a scarf or something. And I have chosen a person who often dressed sort of like that, the big Indian leader Mahatma Gandhi. And why I have chosen him? Because his last name there, Gandhi, reminds a bit of this country, Ghana, Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, Ghana. So try to see this scarf, his clothes, and then his head, and then think of Mahatma Gandhi, and then you get Ghana. Next country, this is my favorite. It sort of looks like a tie. And imagine this tie that it's red with some yellow McDonald's M on it. It can be any label. If you prefer a Burger King or a KFC, it can be that. But the point to make here that it's something with fast food. It's food that you bring on your to go. And that's the name of this country, Togo. So it's to-go food. And the next country next to there, it's also one of my favorites. For me, it looks sort of an ice cream like with a waffle. And this label is maybe not known to everyone, but it is a label with very good ice cream called Ben and Jerry. So that's the label of this ice cream. And the reason for that is that this country is called Benin. So Ben and Jerry, Benin. Then we go again to the next side, and here I'm not so happy about the image. I took a direct image of the Niagara waterfall. I wanted a waterfall. I tried to draw one, but it didn't really get good, so I just took a real photo of the Niagara. And why that? Because this country is called Nigeria. Niagara Fall, Nigeria. Then we continue up, and here first I thought it looked sort of like a ping pong racket, maybe a tennis racket, a bit short shaft there, but something like that. But when I asked my family or checked on the internet, people think it looks like chicken drumstick or fried chicken wing. So we put that here. And that doesn't say anything about the country of the name, it's just the shape. On this chicken drumstick, there is a coin, a nickel in US, it's a 5 cents. But you can also think about it in the periodic table number 28, which is nickel, which is called Ni. So that's where I have the beginning of the name. Then around the nickel, there is a gear. And that helped us to get the name of this country, Ni and gear, Niger, and that's the name of the country. A bit far-fetched, but see this image of the chicken drumstick and the nickel and the gear around, and remember Niger. Then we go a bit down to the left, and there we have another country, and I had a lot of problem to find an image for this one. And my son said, doesn't it look a bit like a dog? And when he said that, I saw directly there was a dog. I didn't before, with a little nose there and just the head. So that's a dog. And on top of the dog, it's riding a model with a burkini. And that helped us to remember this name of this country, Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso, burkini. Then we go up a bit, another of my favorites. So if you had a computer during the 80s or the 90s, you probably have this big monitor, and it looks really like a big monitor. And then you maybe have a keyboard and then it's just a desk below. And on this computer it's coming up an alarm like it's a malware. And malware is short for malicious software, and this country is called Mali. Malicious or malware Mali. Then we go up again. This is the 10th largest country on earth by area. And this sort of looks like a vase, and in that it's algae in it from the sea. And we can also see algebra mathematic formula on it if we want. It's not so easy to think about that, so that's optional. But then we can remember that this country is called Algeria, for Algea or algebra. And now let's go to the last country. It looks sort of like a nose and a head and maybe bent leg or like. So it's a person who's wearing a tunica. And why a tunica or a tunic? Because this country is called Tunisia. Great, we have went through all the 10 countries. Let's go through them all a bit quicker now, and let's see if you remember some or all of them. You can pause the video and think about all the images. I will go through pretty quick. So the first one, we have the trunk or the nose of the elephant who have the ivory, so Ivory Coast. Then on the next, there is this bump, it looks nearly like a scarf or alike. It's the famous leader Mahatma Gandhi, Gandhi Ghana. Then we have my favorite, a tie with the fast food. I chose McDonald's. It's To Go food, To Go. Then we have the, who looks a bit like an ice cream, and it's the label Ben and Jerry, Ben, Benin. Then we have the Niagara Fall, Nigeria. Then we have the chicken drumstick with a nickel and a gear, Niger. Then we have the dog, where there's a model with the burkini on, Burkina Faso. And then we have the computer screen, the old one, big monitor with a keyboard with the malware, malicious, Mali, malicious. Then we have the big country, where there is a vase with a green algae on it, or a mathematic algebra, Algeria. And the last one, it looks like this little guy, and he's wearing a tunic or tunica, and it's Tunisia. So if you got all the 10 correctly, great job. If you got a few, already good as well. Review them a bit, and after a while, when you just see the shape of the country, you can't stop to think about these images, and it makes it so easy to remember it. I hope this has been helpful for you, and thank you very much for watching this video. Have a great day.